Okay, so I recorded this video in hopes to help you understand how to answer this question. The purpose of this question is to have students understand how to interpret blood glucose patterns. This patient takes 70-30, 30 units before breakfast and 30 units before dinner. These blood glucose values are before breakfast values and or before meal values and before insulin values. We have 6 days worth of readings, and normally the patient's blood glucose is within target range. What would happen if the patient skips breakfast and took their insulin? So, if the patient skipped breakfast and they took their insulin, you would expect to see a low blood sugar because the patient hasn't eaten and they have insulin on board. So we can think about, where do we see some lows relative to others? This is a little lower. This is certainly lower. Okay. Why would day 6 be the answer? Because we have a low value before lunch. If someone doesn't eat breakfast, then the next time they check their blood sugar, which would be right before lunch, they've had their insulin, you would expect to see low. Now, the 70-30 also acts sort of pre-dinner. That longer acting insulin, that NPH, acts also before dinner, but you don't know what the patient ate for lunch. They probably had a very large lunch because they didn't have breakfast. They probably felt terrible with this 45. They may have had a huge piece of cake or something. Okay, so the second question, or the second scenario, they forget to take their insulin in the evening. They've had their meals and they just didn't take their insulin in the evening. So the next time they check their blood sugar, you would expect their blood sugars to be high. So we're looking for bedtime blood sugars that are high. We have 2 days, day 2 and day 4. Now, the other thing that would happen is, not only did they not get their dose of regular that would basically be controlling this blood sugar here, they also didn't get their dose of NPH, which would be controlling the fasting blood sugars. So it would affect not only that nighttime blood sugar, but the next morning. And day 4 is the answer because the bedtime sugar is elevated here and it's also elevated there. Day 2 is not the answer because the evening blood sugar is high, but the morning blood sugar is okay. This next question: eats at 6 p.m. and takes her evening dose at 10 p.m. before bedtime. Which day was this? That kind of puts us back at, they didn't have their insulin to cover their dinner, so that means their bedtime glucose is going to be high. But they did take their insulin right here, so that means that their morning blood sugar is going to be probably a little bit normal. It may even be low because now they've got some regular on board when they're getting ready to go to bed. But this is why this answer is day 2. I hope this video helps. Feel free to ask questions either in class or via email. Thanks for listening.